Today from Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, we have some good, clean fun. And down and dirty action as man and machine wrestle with the Pennsylvania mud. Coming up next, it's blinding speed. And the wild and woolly thrills of side-by-side mud racing. This is Trucks and Tractor Power featuring the All-Stars of the four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Summer Nationals. Welcome to Trucks and Tractor Power on the Nashville Network. Today we bring you the four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Summer Nationals from the Bloomsburg Fairgrounds in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. These Jamborees are built as a picnic of power, but when it comes to Bloomsburg, it's more like a big party, where the guest of honor is the Iron Horse of the working man. Trucking enthusiasts from all over the Northeast come here to see and be seen. But even if you don't have a truck that's entered in the show and shine competition, you can always strut your stuff cruising Main Street. Hi everybody, I'm Gary Lee, and speaking of strutting your stuff, that's exactly what the best mud racers in the East will be doing today at the Bloomsburg Fairgrounds. And here with more on that, let's go trackside to Army Armstrong.
Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania had to bring us the most exciting mud racing that we've ever had on TNN. That's from last year. This year, those guys are pumped up and ready to go again. When I say those guys, I'm talking about the East Coast Mud Racing Association. This is one of the very few times they have a chance to make national television, and believe me, they want to step up and make a good impression. Last year, they sure did. Dave Collins came out with a vehicle that made so much horsepower on two passes, Gary, you remember? Actually collapsed the front end of the vehicle. He was making so much horsepower, it came apart on him. And then, to me, one of the most memorable runs I have ever had a chance to see in this sport was when Dan Jordan took the carpetbagger and literally flew out of the pit. Those are the East Coast guys that are going to be doing battle today. But then again, we've got our NMRO national regulars such as Tom Meats with the Shake Me, and he's not going to let these local guys push him around at all. Ready to go mud racing? It's that time, Gary. Back to you.
And today it's the Open Unlimiteds, which means anything goes, basically. Superchargers, nitrous, big blocks, small blocks. They're running the cut tires through 180 feet of mud and competing against the clock. One pass, the best overall time wins.
Gary, that's what makes the sport unique. It's like a gunfight. You got one shot to do your thing. Ron Denham's going to be coming out. He's out of Pennsylvania. He'll be running the Ford vehicle. In the other lane, coming out in a different body style, is Matt Ward. He's out of Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, the Mystic Warrior. I love the names of the sport, but everybody has their own idea of what a mud racer should be. But the winner is solely determined by one thing. One run on a 180-foot track. The guy with the quickest time will take all the money out of here this weekend. Oh, we got a good track.
Good pass in the near lane.
Yes.
A good run.
Woo! Now we're mud racing. Here we go, Gary.
Matt Ward at 290. Matt lays down at 2.90. He says, all right, boys, there's a good run. You beat it.
Now, Bogdacious is not going to be there. He goes to 5:35. He goes back on the trailer, not in the hunt.
Good crowd on hand here today in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. We take a look again.
And I tell you what, drawing in an early field has got to help you in this sport, Gary. Now, the area he's in right now, there's some sand they put there to help to shut these vehicles down, so they're not trying to stop 100% on grass.
Joe Bogdanis in Plum Crazy in the far lane.
Yeah, but the guy coming up next to him out of Intercourse, Pennsylvania is Al Esch. Now, we told you earlier, his childhood heroes were Joliet Jake and Elwood. That's why the truck is blue, Gary.
And the Blues Brothers.
Man,
well, let's see if he'll be blue after this run.
I don't believe so. He's in a good lane. The man in front of him made a real good shot. He knows that he's capable of doing the same thing. One run, a lot of pressure. Look at this run. Look at this, Gary.
Oh, dandy. Oh, Big Al turns in an excellent run. Hang on there. He slides to a stop.
Left turn, Clyde. It worked.
Almost got in trouble there at the end. Plum Crazy at 330. Let's see what Big Al turns. 2.77. How about that? He now takes the lead.
Boy, he's a player. The Blues Brothers, be proud of him. Old Joliet, Jake, and Elwood are sitting on top of this thing. The replay comes up. He just made a good straight run. Look at that.
Got on top of the mud and hammer down. Right here, he almost gets in trouble. Just catches the edge of that sand pit, if you will, that slowdown area. Now he's hard on the brakes here, trying to slide to a stop. staying out of trouble, almost makes contact with the other competitor. Let's go down now and talk to Big Al.
Gary, a 2.772 under that magic 3-second barrier. Is that going to be good enough to stay?
I don't know if it's going to hold or not. It's going to be a tough one to beat, but it could be beat. It depends on the track if it stays or not.
On a day like today, you take your shot early in the field, and all you got to do now is just sit and watch. That's got to put a lot of pressure on you.
I'm going to be a nervous wreck. I'm going to be nervous. I hope it holds.
Part of motorsports is entertainment, and this guy was very entertaining last year, at least to the fans, not to himself. We saw that run a little earlier in the show from last year. This is Dave Collins, and he pulls alongside Victor Lewis.
Dave
heavy metal.
Dave Collins is making this could be a case of overkill. He could be making too much horsepower for this sport. The same engine propel a car over 200 mile an hour. He's just trying to go through a 180-foot pit. The 200 mile an hour comes in a drag strip. 180 foot goes here. Look at that. Oh, here we go again.
Here we go. He came that close to rolling on over. Had that ridge not been soft, he would have been upside down.
Yeah, it had been like hooking a rudder on a cushion of a sprint track, but by being soft, it allowed it to settle in a little bit, but he's still awfully lucky. And the hay bale lost in that one too, didn't it?
If I were that driver, I don't know if I'd come back here next year. This has not been a good track for him. As the fans look over, the safety crew out there, and we take another look. Watch the right lane. He gets in trouble, slides up on top that ridge, and almost goes over. Right here, it's soft enough.
He never attempted to turn that vehicle to the right. The wheel stayed straight the whole run, Gary.
Well, he's okay. He walks away to survey the damage. And this certainly happened to him again last year. So not a very good racetrack for Dave Collins. We'll haul the wreckage back to the paddock area, take a break, and come back with more. We're in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, where Ford Trucks present the Penda Four-Wheel and Off-Road Jamboree Summer Nationals, a part of the B.F. Goodrich Performance Series. Well, here we see Richard Longo in Foolish Pleasure. He'll be up at the starting line shortly. But first, let's talk to Dave Collins, who was involved in that melee just moments ago.
You know, it seems like when your transmission and all the drivetrain tighten up, this car almost has a mind of its own out there.
We've been running real consistent all year. Today, I don't know if I lost an axle or what. It just come around, you know, it was going nice and straight the whole run. Right at the end, it wanted to come around sideways. I don't know, I might have broken an axle. I got to wait till I get in the pit.
You're okay?
Oh, I'm fine. Nothing happened. It just come around on me, and I hit the bank, and so I just locked it up. Had a nice, safe run.
Yeah, nice, safe run. They call him Mr. Excitement from Bloomsburg, and you can see why. For the second year in a row, he's had them on their feet, Gary.
Driving a Barney Rubble chassis.
Yeah, that's Barney's an old chassis. Look at this one, a brand new type vehicle coming out.
Well, this is a Suzuki Samurai. Jim Neeson, don't see many of those.
Well, you do see a whole lot of these rascals. The fiberglass funny car Jeep of Richard Longo comes out in the other lane.
This is Foolish Pleasure against the Baja Buzzard 2.
Boy, he attacks that starting line, Gary.
He's in trouble right there, though. Oh, he came ever so close to getting upside down. I thought he was going to be on his head. 342. He almost tucked that right rear. And finally, the Buzzard completes the run first in class.
That's first in class, second in the race. Hey, not bad. He goes to 698. The short wheelbase, the guy sitting there grinning from ear to ear. But I don't blame him for setting, because look, he's smart enough to let that other guy just go on and do your thing. I'll be there in just a minute.
And right there, Longo is in big trouble, but hangs on and gets it slowed down. He almost got upside down. He's down, standing by with Army.
You know, I travel halfway around the country, pay $25 to go to Disney World to take a ride like that. You just did it for free.
Yeah, it was a little rough down towards the end. It shifted, and it just came right on me. Felt good down right till the end there. Got a little squirrely, but it was a good run.
And the name of this vehicle says it all. Foolish Pleasure kind of sums it up, Army. We take a look now at Tom Martin, the Super Trooper, and he goes up against Roger Laney, Equal Justice.
Well, people,
kind of a law enforcement theme.
There you go. People that follow the sport are familiar with Martin. He's won 4 indoor world championships. He's outdoor, and I think he likes the outdoor track a little bit better because it's a lot safer, I believe. Plus, he can really put all his horsepower and wheel speed to use, and there's not a wall on the other end of the building. So let's see what he's going to do here.
Well, he got the whole shot, but well, we'll wait and tell the tale of the time. I don't think he was quite quick enough. No, 298. 298. He had to beat a 277. So the Super Trooper although he was the quickest of this run, was not fast enough to take #1 on the leaderboard.
No, the full body truck recorded a 4:31. That's not bad. Now remember, you're giving a whole lot of weight away. The left lane is to the right lane. Martin, he would make a good run. What I'm seeing is they can't keep all 4 corners planted into the track. The track is getting ruddy. They're what they call broncoing, and it's not working for them.
Well, here's Pete Resnick in the Magician. And that's a Pontiac Trans Am funny car, Joe Weidenhofer. And what went berserk? I don't know where these guys get the name for these cars.
I don't either, but I love it. This sport is growing. Everybody's having fun. They're serious about it. One of the things we noticed about the Jeep closest to us, the ground clearance. A lot of guys are trying to get the center of gravity low. He raises it up high. Boy, he gets a whole shot, banging off the wall on the right side again.
And I think he might be disqualified right there as he went out of bounds at the end of the run. Yeah, DQ.
Yeah, if that hay bale had anything to do with it.
So what did go berserk? And there's a 385 for the full-bodied Magician, the Pontiac Trans Am with a 360 cubic inch Chevrolet. Take a look again, coming right at you. Look the left lane as he goes out of bounds.
You know, when they get into the wall, it almost sucks them into it. I don't think I've ever seen anybody pull away from a wall once they got up on it, Gary Lee.
A good crowd on hand. They're enjoying the sunshine and the mudding here in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. Leaderboard showing Big Al still leading in Beef Tea Blue. Matt Ward is now second, and Tom Martin is third. So we'll come back and see if anybody else can knock Big Al off the top spot. We'll see if the track changes any as we take a look at the concentration in the eyes of Andrew Heester and the Mighty Mudder. We're coming back. Stay with us. And welcome back to Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, where the mud bog continues here. And Army now is standing by with a real favorite, Tom Meents.
Gary, if there's such thing as a worst-case scenario in this sport, it would be the last guy of the day in this pit. I'm standing with Tom Meents. That's your scenario, last guy in the pit. But I understand it's going to be a bye run. So do we look for your lineup a little bit crooked and shoot across that track?
Yeah, we'll definitely find the best line through there, and we'll be able to really concentrate and give it our best run.
These East Coast guys are really playing tough up here. You're the traveling pro. To be real honest, they hated to see you get that bye run, and everybody's going to be watching. A lot of pressure seems like is on you. Do you feel that pressure?
Yeah, a little bit. They're all gunning for me. They know I'm one of the big guns. They're out here to knock me off.
I like his confidence, but he's very true, though. He is one of the big guns, and
exactly
anytime they come out to compete, they have to beat him. Here is Andrew Heester in the Mighty Mudder. And we saw that look of concentration on his eyes just before we went to break. And here's Robert Reese in Odds and Ends.
Reese is out of Hanover, Pennsylvania, in a fiberglass Jeep. Far lane, a weird-looking vehicle, is a fiberglass replica of a 32 Ford that has been channeled and sectioned and narrowed. Boy, anything to go fast, right, Gary? Look at here.
Neither one of these guys are going to turn in a superb run here. It will not come close to getting on the leaderboard. As we wait for the time to come up, 488 for the Jeep fiberglass body and a 414 for the
32 Ford. But one thing I'm seeing, I'm doing a lot of thinking. These guys are not making the horsepower of some of the big runners. Look at the body motion. See, they're rutting, they're bouncing a little bit. That's got to affect the track. You know, every time they bounce down, they're digging a little bit of a rut that the guy behind them has to go through. And remember, the man at the end of the line is the man that everybody's worried about.
That's Tom Meents, but he has yet to show with the Shake Me entry. And here is Ron McKinney. Little of this and that.
It's a good name for a vehicle. Talk about a nice looking vehicle. This little 23 Roadster coming out, and it shows you the extremes of the sport.
Surfrat. That looks something that we would see back in California in the late 50s in drag racing.
There you go. Big Daddy Ratfink, you think will be driving it. But look at the sport. Full body truck going head to head against a fiberglass replica 23.
Not a bad run over there in the right lane. We'll check the time for you. Once again, they're going for a 277, 340. A 340, and then there's the 476. So Big Al is still on top at 277. Once again, the luck of the draw. Obviously, it's more advantageous to go out early.
Yeah, definitely. He's dodged a lot of bullets today.
Well, let's go back down trackside and have a comment from Brian.
Okay, a 3.40 seemed to be an awfully good run to me. How did it feel to you?
Felt good. I think it's still running a little bit lean with the heat today. Being the second time out, I think we're going to fatten it up and come back in Class 6 and see what we can do.
All right, the competition continues. Talk about unusual creations. Look at Fireball.
Well, it also is a 23 Ford. He'll be going up against Loose Screw in the other lane, but the 23 in the far lane is the story because the engine's to the rear. Remember, we've already had one vehicle that ran with the rear engine setup. It didn't seem to handle. Let's see how this one's going to go.
Once again, this class, virtually anything goes. Once again, both lanes are bouncing.
Gary's in trouble. He's in trouble, Gary.
Oh, he's upside down, rolls over once, but has the presence of mind to drive it away. That's pretty impressive right there. Rolls it over and then started driving away.
Yeah, but the roll cage is laying back on the driver's helmet. He's lucky. He is lucky.
He pops that quick release steering wheel, and he will be climbing out.
He got his bell rung. There you go. He's finally starting to come around a little bit.
Well, Dean Crotier, I thought, was going to drive away, but obviously he did get tapped a bit there on the helmet, but he stops the car, hits the kill switch, and they're working with him right now.
Well, they got a good EMT crew here, and it's very important. You notice they're talking to the driver. What day is it? Where you're from? Just making sure that he is aware of what's going on.
Looks like he may have a cut there on the nose as he got upside down, and
he's going to wind up with a little bit of red eye out of this thing. He took
red eye and racing rheumatism.
There you go.
Let's look one more time. He has a safe pass, but gets in trouble in the shutdown area.
See the bound right there.
And he goes to correct, and he rolls to the left.
That could come just backing out of the throttle, and the reverse torque of the engine swinging back to the left could have tweaked the chassis on him.
That's exactly what roll bars and roll cages are for. The safety devices held up in this case.
Yeah, with that lead roll bar, they need to look at that because it did fall back just a little bit. Now, granted, it kept the weight of the car off of him, but it collapsed about 2 or 3 inches. They'll need to rebuild that.
Oh, we can see the damage there at the bottom of the roll bar where it actually snapped under the impact, but he is all right, but they're going to put him in the ambulance and have a check, and we'll take a break and come back here to Bloomsburg. Stay with us. And welcome back to Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, where Ford Trucks present the Penda 4-Wheel and Off-Road Jamboree Summer Nationals, a part of the BF Goodrich Performance Series. These jamborees offer a host of activities for not only the truck lover, but the entire family as well. To find out more, call or write the Special Events Promotion Company. Well, a look at our final competitor, Tom Means and Shake Me, will not be catching a single, however. They'll be paired against David Ray in Midnight Magic, a 24 Ford with a 572 cubic inch Ford power plant.
Well, now somebody in the lineup in front of him had to drop out in order to get him into the run. And you know, I don't think it worries him to run with somebody or by himself. He is so deep in concentration, he's worried about one thing, his lane and a run of about a 276 to get 277, not to be the quickest of the day.
Oh. Now, what do you think, Army? Takes a long time to get her slowed down. Let's wait for the time to come in. No, so close. 288. 2.88, but that means that Big Al hangs on. There's the 316 for David Ray. Let's look one more time.
You wonder what this run would have been like if it had been earlier. Notice all the ruts he's catching, see?
Yeah, Army, he couldn't get on top of the mud. He was bouncing through the mud pit. Consequently, that slowed him down. He finishes second with a 2.88, pulling the helmet off. Let's go talk to him.
Tom, they changed a lot of things around on you. It's supposed to be a by run. You line up in the lane you weren't supposed to be in. Did that change your train of thought at all?
Not too bad. Just got a little squirrely down there near the end there.
Second quick time of the day. You satisfied with that?
Yeah, real satisfied.
But you were making horsepower big on the other end. You knew that, didn't you?
Yeah, it run real good down there near the end.
Well, he says he was satisfied with the run, but the voice indicates to me he's just a tad disappointed. He only can finish second this afternoon as Big Al and Beef T Blue takes the win at 277. He made a second pass this afternoon. Tom Means, the last pass, good enough for second. And the first guy to go out was Matt Ward in Mystic Warrior, and he laid down the 290. So how much did the track change? Well, we don't know. But Big Al's the victor, and he's with Army.
Well, the big story of the day in Bloomsburg in the Mud Class 5 was the guy out of Intercourse, Pennsylvania. Congratulations, but man, you were sitting on pins and needles all afternoon long with these guys coming after you.
All afternoon. I was one of the first ones to run. Well, I was fifth to run. I was just sitting there just pacing back and forth. I can't believe it held yet. The track apparently just went away real bad.
Well, congratulations, Jill. There's only one first place check. You're
That's
taking
right.
that back with you.
We're going home with that one.
And here's one more look at your victorious run. The Beefy Blue in the near lane. Now watch, he gets in trouble. Almost gets upside down as he tries to slow down right here. He almost rolls it over. For Army Armstrong, I'm Gary Lee. We'll see you next week for another edition of Trucks and Tractor Power.